Starting, yeah.
Just a minute.
Yep.
We have 11 people here tonight. Everyone is tired evening. Maybe Holy Way.
Yeah. Everybody's trick-or-treating, Khenpo.
Oh. Where is Mary Runway? Always she's starting, Mary.
The water was boiling, Khenpo. I had to get the tea.
I see.
Now I'm ready.
Are
Now
you
we may begin.
Are you ready? Just please, can you do the 94?
94.
Yes.
Okay, your wish is my command.
Wow.
Okay. Since short-lived sounds are inanimate, they cannot possibly think of praising me. But as it makes the bestower of praise happy, my reputation is a source of pleasure for me. But as it makes the bestower of praise happy, my reputation is a source of pleasure for me. Here it's saying, if somebody is praising you, the noise that they make is the sounds that they make. The sound itself is just noise. It doesn't really have anything to do with you particularly, but if it makes the one who says it happy, then great. Okay. Sound doesn't have any intention, but if it helps the people who are praising you to praise you, let them go for it, but don't attach to it.
Okay, great. So I'm in the next 49, 15, 94, sorry, 94. Oh, 94 you did, right?
95.
Oh, 95, sorry. My eye cannot see where's where. 95.
Did you say me, Khenpo?
Yes, sir.
Whether this praise is directed at myself or someone else, how shall I be benefited by the joy of he who bestows it? Since that joy and happiness is his alone, I shall not obtain even a part of it. So I think this one is connected to 94. So how can you get joy since this praise and joy is the bestower's alone? So I think the main point is just don't be attached to the praise. Praise are just words. There's no intention. If someone is happy, it's not your happiness. It belongs to another person and it doesn't benefit you. So just let it go, I think, is the point.
Yes. Okay, so great. Anyone has any this two great for you? First, Mary and Amanda did the connecting together. It's the easy one. Some ways easy, but some ways hard. You have to think a little bit like what we thought. Who makes a problem? Who makes press to us? Why we happy to that? Why we don't happy other someone's? Okay, so now then we go to the 96. 96. Thomas, please, can you do the 96?
Yes, Khenpo. But if I do find happiness in his happiness, then surely I should feel the same way towards all. And if this were so, then why am I unhappy when others find pleasure in that which brings them joy? I should be happy. It says, if I'm happy because of others' happiness, I should feel the same way towards all. Don't be unhappy towards others' happiness, because we're all equal. We are all the same.
Finish?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the main point?
Main point was that don't be unhappy towards others' happiness.
right? So they don't be unhappy with all others and also enemies, right?
Exactly. Because
So
we're all equal. Huh?
yeah, if you're happy, someone prays to you for that. The same like that, happy to everyone,
Yes, exactly.
happy and joy for everyone. Okay. Then next one, 97. EDG, can you do 97, please?
Sure. Therefore, the happiness that arises from thinking I am being praised is invalid. It is only the behavior of a child. So here, it's not good to be attached to praise. That's attachment.
Mm.
And that's all I can say about that. It's attachment, and that's not. I mean, if someone else is, let's see, how do you say that? Therefore, the happiness that arises from thinking I am being praised is invalid. It is only the behavior of a child. So here I am being attached to praise, which is attachment, which is not healthy.
Mm. Yeah, good. Thank you. So the main point is just if you attach to press, then just kind of same as the kids, because press is nothing important, nothing benefit you, but you are attached, you happy for that. It's then you are just same as the kids, right?
Right.
You think so like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes people has like that, right? So like press and then so happy and say some like kind of a little bit different words, easily upset. So that's the kind, the Shantideva said that is the kids stuff. We also have that problem. So sometimes like sometimes says something, praise, honors, we so happy, enjoy. Even nothing benefit, just happy, right? And exciting. Someone says something little bit unpleasant, is upset, unhappy. So actually, that words nothing going to make any change in situations, good or bad, but just we follow the words. Okay, so then next is uh, Tom Wazani. Please, can you do the next one? 98.
Okay. Praise and so forth distract me and also undermine my delusion with cyclic existence. I start to envy those who have good qualities, and all the very best is destroyed. So it goes back to the previous one that if you're attached to it or think that it's something, a permanent something, a permanent happiness, or whatever it is that you think that it's so real and so everlasting, it will tend to undermine your good qualities eventually because you'll become more deluded.
Finish?
Yes,
Okay. So main point is press destroy our qualities, right? Honors press because create emotion, like become more ego arise. That's true. You think that's true?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, it's really true. That's you know, and honors, press, and names like become who get that is that person power. Then they become very ego, and then attach to that temporary happiness and destroy actually future or happiness, future lives happiness too. So that person also destroy others' happiness too. Yeah.
Kempo,
Yes.
earlier this morning when you were doing that particular one, you had said that certain praises are distraction towards our practice. That by getting praise, that we start thinking, or our ego gets very big. But
Yes.
and also that you had said that the praise was a cause for the non-renunciation of our what we do in our praise or our vows. That I guess it can be easily misconstrued and our heads
Yeah.
get big.
Just lose the qualities. Like if you have a good renunciation, wanted to practicing Dharma, then you get something worldly power, something you gone, then your spiritual is gone. So many people has that kind of too. When they're difficult time and they really like Dharma, wanted to practice, they want that they get good or the worldly things, then Dharma is gone.
Mm.
Dharma is gone from their mind. They when they get suffering, difficult, come back to Dharma too. So the that's why it's like see this worldly possession, good press, words, or you get something possessions, whatever you something that actually affected the practice of Dharma.
Mm. Thank you, Kempo.
Yeah. So
I-
yes, Debbie.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to add on to that. What really struck me today during the empowerment was that exactly what you said about the emptiness of the words, that they were like an echo. And as soon as that was talked about in terms of the speech, it really struck home because, thinking of that as being an echo, thinking of that as being empty, and not just for praise, but for negative words. And that was brought up too, exactly what you had said, that whether it's a negative speech towards you or praise, both of them are empty, essentially empty, and therefore can create no harm.
Mm. Yeah. So that 98 hold so much meaning in there. Really good instruction. And the another also like we don't have enough accumulation merit. Like sometimes people really put effort to practice Dharma, then slowly they're gone. Effort is gone. So that's also one is not enough accumulation merit. Second is like also this kind of obstacle arise, then easily gone. So this is all is talking about obstacle like for practice Dharma. That's why suffering is good for teacher, means like really you can learn the samsara and you want to free from that samsara, and also you recognize who has suffering, you can cultivate compassion for them, and so suffering is a good teacher, and this worldly gains actually is distracting for Dharma practice. But not everyone, just somebody like who don't have enough accumulation merit easily shift mind change. So when they're difficulty time and then come to Dharma, when they're happy and joy, they already forget. So we have a example in Tibet, like so you say where you are the when where is difficult place, you calling Pema Sambhava, please Pema Sambhava help me. When you get no any difficulty, you are become joy places, you going to singing la ala ala ri tala tala, the we going to singing to just singing and then dancing and all is gone. So like that, people are, and that's the reason then people who don't have really stable their mind easily shift. So of course, like who has a stable the mind, the mind is stable, then the press, this worldly gain things, of course good, but they not really change much. Person who was stable. Person who's not stable is you get something, possessions, power, or these worldly material gains, and then easily changed. So then they also, even they are your friend, they don't recognize you. Right? So that's we know. Shantideva said that's why if that these things like people who uh, cannot use correctly, then these things is obstacle. Praise, honors, gain the world, the qualities like material gains, honors, so all these things is like obstacle. That's also for dependent individual. So you cannot say always that is the obstacle. So some people use this as like become for practice, they don't create obstacles. I mean, they use these things for practice. Okay. So now we go to 99. Senda, please. Are you whole days in the Dharma?
Yeah.
Do you get food to eat during something?
My husband's been really great.
Okay.
Yeah. Therefore, are not those who are closely involved in destroying my praise and the like also involved in protecting me from falling into the unfortunate realms? So it's sort of saying that people who criticize you, or at least don't praise you, are helping you because they're helping you not have your ego get too big. And or if they were criticizing you, and then maybe you would get angry, and then that would be the cause for going into the lower realm. So we can, it's just the idea of all sounds are mantra and trying to maintain equanimity and to realize there are no enemies really. Everyone's got whatever happens, it has a benefit to you in some way or another.
Thank you. Everyone okay? That's it. Great.
Yeah, I have a comment on that. I mean, this morning was really valuable to me. We've been talking about all the things that I felt good about in the past, and I'm saying, gee, yeah, that's right. It's much better to rejoice in the other person's happiness and not become attached to the words. That is so important. Anyway, I just had to say that. Thank you.
Okay, so then we go to 100. 100, Lisa, can you do the 100?
Yes. I who am striving for freedom do not need to be bound by material gain and honor. So why should I be angry with those who free me from this bondage? So the first part, a material gain and honor are like obstacles to your practice. They take your time and attention. Same way like some teachings they say your family is like your prison guard. So they're obstacles to your freedom in a certain kind of way. So wise people practice equanimity, and besides equanimity, it makes people happier anyway. my opinion. And why should I be angry with those who free me from this bondage? So enemies help you to practice patience and help you to mainly to help you practice patience. You couldn't practice it without them. It wouldn't be object for patience. Because the Buddha is not object for patience. That's about all I know about this one.
Thank you. Great, you did good. This word is very good too, right? You think so? So easy to understand and easily recognize our own problems. So we are looking for freedom. Then we don't want to bound by material gain and honor, right? So then who obstacle for material and gain and honor, why should we be angry for them? So they're really helping us free from samsara.
Khenpo,
Yes,
on this particular one, you had told a story of a monk that had clairvoyancy
yes,
and saw a mother with a child eating and with
yes,
a dog that's close to it, and realized that story is it's very profound. I mean, to realize that you know, and I guess the way that you told it, it really struck a chord, you know, to see everything is not what it seems to be, you know,
right.
and yeah, I mean, yeah, that was a beautiful story. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Debbie, what do you have called?
Oh, I was just going to say that one thing that struck me with 100 was also, you said that what we want in our actions aren't the same. And that is just so true, that, you know, we're looking for happiness, it's what we want, but then our actions don't really reflect that we're trying to gain happiness. And I can go through pretty much every day of my life and find that to be kind of the case. What I do and what I think I'm trying to achieve is not necessarily the same action.
Yeah, so wanting action is different, right? Didn't go together. Okay, Debbie B, then can you do the 101, please?
Is that me?
Debbie B, yes.
Oh, okay.
You are B.
I'm B. Okay, thank you. Those who wish to cause me suffering are like Buddhas bestowing waves of blessings. As they open the door for my not going to an unfortunate, why should I be angry with them? So with this verse, it basically, like the verse before, it really talks about not being biased and having equanimity. And so really the like our those who create this suffering are actually a blessing, and they close the doors to the lower realms, and that's our enemies. Yet we have great attachment and love for those around us, our friends, our family, and those people that we like, and they actually close the door to our freedom, where our enemies actually open the door to our freedom. So instead of being attached and loving those that are closing that door to freedom, actually it's our enemies that are creating that causes and conditions for us to gain ultimate happiness. Our friends and relatives only get us just impermanent happiness.
But don't say that it's your family's, otherwise that doesn't like hear that.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think so. They're like.
I'll be careful with that.
That
Well, I'm
was-
talking.
yeah.
We'll keep this
It's-
the white
Nobody
statement.
like the truth, people doesn't like truth.
Yeah. Well, I think it's okay to say that it's not being attached to it, right? Like we can enjoy our friends and families and relatives and really love them and care for them and be with them. But we have to remember that we have to do the same for our enemies. And when we just do that for our friends, families, and relatives, that takes us to a different place. And we hate our enemies. But when we can do that for our enemies, they can take us to a higher realm or a higher place.
The enemies like if make it hard and difficult for us, like, oh, I wanted to meditate and I want to calm, and we right away we wanted to practice the Dharma. So if some relatives, family is there, and then someone is their loved ones, we wanted to be with them. You forget meditating, and this practicing is gone. You're not thinking about that. Just we recognize right away there. So. Okay, that is a great one actually. So
Well, and sometimes our family can seem like our enemy too. So we have that, if we want to be on the relative plane and real about it, that can happen quite often.
yeah, so actually when you practicing Dharma, and the loved ones actually enemy, because that obstructing for the practice of Dharma. And of course, like you wanted to gain this material worldly honors or these things, then enemies obstacle. So you wanted to practice the Dharma and the loved ones obstacle. Okay, so now we go to the next one. 102 dBA.
Okay, yeah, I like this one. It's kind of funny, actually. And just
That's why it come to you, this one.
and we just talked about it a little bit. So it is, but what if someone should obstruct my gaining merit? With him too is incorrect to be angry. For since there is no fortitude similar to patience, surely I should put it into practice. And so actual people are getting in the way of, as you just said, your practice, but also, day to day, I would like to be maintaining an emotional, or, like not have too many emotions and try to remember Bodhisattva and things like that. And then people prevent you from doing that. The reason why I say it's kind of funny is because they're actually helping you. It's like you want to practice the 6 paramitas. Well, patience is a great one. So you can either get annoyed or recognize that momentary feeling of anger and frustration is something you need to identify and make it go away. It's sort of like they're doing you a favor. They're helping you do what you want to do, which is kind of funny because you often don't recognize that they're giving you the gift of helping you manage your frustration. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Debe. So everyone great understand that, right? Clearly make sense or no? 102 is so you think about we're going to say do something, but then that not obstacle, right? Someone helping for doing that things. So you want to create accumulation merit, then enemy is no obstacle. Enemy can help for create accumulation merit. It's become more strong. Then we go to 103 David, can you do the 103?
Hey, Khenpo.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I didn't write too much, but let me see. In that one, 103. If due to my own failings, I am not patient with this enemy, then it's only I who am preventing myself for practicing this cause for gaining merit. What I draw here is that no one destroy our merit or happiness. It's only us because we don't behave and we don't follow patient. We are our enemy. That was my understanding this morning.
Hmm. So more, give me more information.
Well, let me try, Khenpo.
Yes, this is a very famous quote. You like very famous quote.
Well, it look like I don't find, I don't encounter. I
I'm kidding. It's okay. So you did good.
Khenpo. I mean, there is only who. No, I don't have a more Khenpo.
Okay. So it's you did okay. It's easy one. Just if due to my own failings, our own, because ignorance and problems, we don't recognize what we're doing, and that's the reason I'm not patient with this enemy. That's why we say I'm not going to practice patience with these enemies.
Yeah,
That actually not the enemy's problem. That is our own problem.
that's the reason, Khenpo. Yeah, I found that it's very difficult to accept it, but it's ourselves more than them.
Yeah.
They are helping you.
Then it is only who am preventing myself. So then we actually create obstacle our participation. So we are creating obstacle for our own practice dharma. Yeah, from practicing these causes for gaining merit. Okay, so that is the Sonam Jana Nyeneva Dala Dagesi per se. So we have good condition. We can create merit easily, but actually we removed our merit ourselves. So that means we have become obstacle, our own obstacle.
Khenpo, I think that is because we're ignorant, no? Because we don't understand what is happening inside us.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so that's one is a great one. And the one,
Thank you.
Thank you, David. 104. Alita, can you do 104?
Okay, Khenpo. I was just thinking I don't understand it, and then you asked me to do it. Okay.
104 is very easy.
Let me see, I'll try.
Yeah.
If without it something does not occur, and if with it it does come to be, then since this enemy would be the cause of patience, how can I say that he prevents it? So I'm thinking that the it refers to patience. If without patience something does not occur, and if with
If without it means like enemy.
oh, okay.
Refer to enemy, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what I didn't understand. Okay, if without it something does not occur, so basically the enemy is outside, but I can only work with my own mind, and so whether something happens or doesn't happen.
So your first one is like if without it something does not occur. Without enemy, we cannot practice the patience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where is participation is come from? Where is the source? The participation, where is the source come from? Is enemy. Without enemy, we cannot practice passion. If we don't practice passion, we cannot complete the 6 parameter. We cannot become Bodhisattva.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Then second, can you do the second?
The second line,
Yeah.
then since this enemy would be the cause of patience, how can I say that he prevents me? Well, the enemy is helping me to develop the 6 paramitas, to develop patience. And so the enemy is, so I cannot say he prevents me. He's not getting in the way, he's actually helping me.
Yes. Yeah. So see, that's very good, right? Without someone create suffering for us, then we cannot practice passion. So long as we have an enemy that create suffering for us, then we can just come to be. It's like we can practice passion. Then since this enemy would be cause of practice passion, so then he really help for us liberating. That's why Hawking I said he is the obstacle. Patient is not, I mean, the enemy is not obstacle. Enemy is helping for us, not prevent it. If it says, "Oh, enemy create obstacle for me," that is not really how you can say that, because enemy really helping for us practice patience. Yeah, everyone okay that? True, it's a good one, really good one. Okay, so now 105. Curtis, please, can you do 105?
Yes, sir. A beggar is not an obstacle to generosity when I am giving something away. And I cannot say that those who give ordination are an obstacle to becoming ordained. Well, he's giving more examples of the way in which we don't think clearly when it comes to suffering and how it works for us if we cooperate with it. And it's he's pointing out that you don't think about a beggar. You don't think that a beggar is an obstacle to generosity. You shouldn't think of suffering as an obstacle to developing patience. It's just isn't so. I think he's got more to say in the next verse about beggars.
Okay, so no biggest obstacle for your practice generosity is correct or not?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's not an obstacle, it's an opportunity.
I see.
Because we see it as an opportunity. We should see our suffering, people that cause us afflictions.
Someone asks you help and you don't help, then that create some obstacle, right? Because they didn't do generosity. And
well, it's I think we're more inclined to be generous with somebody who needs help, like a beggar.
Okay.
So it's not an obstacle. And when we have suffering, it's mistaken to think of it as an obstacle. Instead, we should see it as an opportunity to develop patience.
Okay. Good, thank you. 106, Navinati, please, can you do the 106?
Many beggars in this world, but scarce are those who inflict harm. For if I have not injured others, few beings will cause me harm. So it's saying that there are many beggars, but there are few who don't hurt others or harm. For if I have not injured others, few beings will cause me harm. I'm sorry, I missed the morning teaching. This is
Okay. Yeah, you did
all I
good.
have.
See that there are indeed many beggars in this world, right?
Mhm.
So you accept that we have so many beggars, right, in this
Mhm.
world. So you can giving something like ask, like someone ask donation, someone ask like help. It's so many, right? That kind of opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, but scarce are those who inflict harm. For if I have not injured others, if you don't harm for others, there's no really harm to you, right?
Mhm.
Not so many people harm you, just even no reasons. If you don't harm them, they're not really going to harm to you. So that's the reason we don't have many object of participation. So participation opportunity is less than practice generosity, because generosity condition is a lot, but participation condition is actually less, for especially for who is the bodhisattvas. And if you don't harm for others, then they're not going to harm you. That's why you don't have conditions there. Mm, Then especially the bodhisattva has more loving compassion for others. They don't have many enemies. Actually, many means kind of zero enemies. So without enemies, they cannot practice passion. So that's why it's here saying just practice passion conditions are very hard to get. So that means any enemy is actually special. Is someone harm for us? No reasons. If long as you can use that practice, passion is special, incredible practice. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Do you get?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't understand how patience
Uh,
how patience is performed in this particular item.
because if someone patient, you mean the practice patient?
Yes.
Or practice patient actually, transform your I mean the reduce the anger, right? Reduce emotions. So you practice patient, then become you are get more how to say your quality is increasing. The enlightening quality is increasing. You create a causes of enlightening qualities. So that's why patience is very important.
I understand that patience is important. I just don't understand how you practice patience in this situation.
Oh, in this situation, so that's why it's very hard to you get object patience. When you get object of patience, so you have to take that opportunity rather than angry to them and use practice patience.
Okay, I'll have to think about that. Thank you.
It just says it's hard to, that you don't always have people in your life who you are going to fight, who are going to cause you to need to practice patience. So if you run into one of them, you should say, oh, thanks, man. I haven't had a chance to hold my temper today. So
Thanks, Mary.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so next, Tia, can you do the next one? 107.
Sure. Therefore, just like treasure appearing in my house without any effort on my behalf to obtain it, I should be happy to have an enemy, for he assists me in my conduct of awakening. So, yeah, you typically don't have to go searching for an enemy. They seem to know exactly what to do to uh, kind of inspire the right combination of emotions inside to have the opportunity to practice patience. So, yeah, I'd say someone who just arrives and is able to do that would, be assisting in the conduct of awakening. That's how I perceive that.
Mm, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, this one is a really important one, great one. I thought I've explained lots, right? This morning, this one. Actually, I forget what I did this morning. So, therefore, it's like, see, the enemy is therefore very important. Just like treasure appear in my house without any effort on my behalf to obtain it. Even you didn't do any hardship, something treasure falling to your home. So, are you going to happy? Yes, right? No questions. Exciting, very happy. Same like that. So, we get something treasure, enemy. So that enemy really have for access is the practice for this way of Bodhisattva. They take us into the waking Buddhahood. So Buddha Shakyamuni, he really found the treasure, David Datta. He really helped him to liberate. So we also need something like that to find the treasure. So the enemy is like no reason, like actually hatred and harming for us, someone like that. That's why it's in the 106 here says, there are indeed many beggars in this world, but scarcity or are those who inflict harm for it have no injured others. If we don't harm for others, they're not going to harm us. See, very hard to get the just no reasons someone going to harm us. Some just like no reasons, like but just generally he treated us. Not many like that, and so that's the reason we found something one like really hatred to us, no reasons. Then we use that for our treasure and practice patience, so that that person really help us. We are awakening Buddha. But it's hard to take care of that kind of person, right? If no reasons someone harm us. If who practice patience, then that kind of person is a treasure for them. So Bodhisattvas, of course, like who has like that, no reasons harming for Bodhisattvas. The Bodhisattvas recognize their treasure. Ordinary beings, very hard to take dealing with that. So you can ignore that person. Ignored. Don't think about. No angry, just don't think about it, right? Give up mind. So that kind we can practice. Okay, so now we go to everyone. Okay, that 9107 is very important.
Well, if someone harms you for no reason at all,
Mm.
isn't it almost easier to kind of let it go because it's not personal? If it's a stranger versus if it's a relative or a friend who harms you for, you know, uh, some sort of moment or, you know, some reason you don't understand. But an enemy that you don't know,
Mm,
they just harm you for no reason at all. I
mm.
mean, it's not personal.
So enemy is can be also relativist friend too. Means like just who harms like us. That is called enemy, right? So relatives can be harm, friends can be harm, and so the due to the emotions, some misunderstanding. So mostly like this relatives like friends, their harming is like due to the emotion. Of course, enemy is like we don't know someone. Stranger ones also can be harmed. That's also due to emotion. Just anyone is emotion, right? So this enemy is like not only like with someone don't know. So this enemies can be our relatives, and you know, like used to be loved ones too. Then they also can be harm us like no reasons because due to the emotion. That's your you get on. That's your question, right? Your thoughts.
I appreciate your answer. Yeah, it just seems that it's easier to let it go if it's not personal. It's just, you know, they're going through an afflictive emotion. It's not personal.
Right. Yeah, so something no personal, like or there's some stranger ones, like some say bad things for us, we let go easy, right? Because short term dealing with them. And also someone is like you don't know, you really don't know much, then their harms like easy to like go away. But someone knows really everything yours you, and then they're going to harm is more difficult because that means like families, relatives, or someone like used to friends once. Yeah, so then anyway, like it's bodhisattvas just their take who doesn't matter who's harm for them. So they take that as a treasure to practice, you know, patience, and then can be they become practice more strong and strong, and then become a waking Buddha. So see, David that are he harms Siddhartha that time also they are relatively they're almost kind of same family. So they knows each other very well, and then due to their just you know families, possessions, power, and attached to that. That's why David are humming for Buddha. Uh, so Buddha Siddhartha he use all patience, practice patience. Whatever the David that harm him, he used that is treasure. It's just take into the path. He don't really take seriously upside down, you know. So he actually see we can learn that way like story Siddhartha. He didn't really harming back to him, but he just not lose his path, his control. He didn't lose it, right? Means like Siddhartha, he practiced patience, but same time he just stay his positions and not take away from this like his uh, position or whatever he does things like that. That is a good way to learn. We can learn. So means enemy like relatives like someone harming for us. We say, oh, practice patience. Okay, then that can destroy spiritual, can destroy life, everything. But then that is like become not enough wisdom and courage to use the right direction. I think so. Someone like harm for us, relatives, friends, then you can practice patience, but you don't lose your practice. spiritual path, and whatever you're doing, just you stay the strong, like your positions. No, you no humming back for them. You just stand in yourself. What are you doing, right? Do you understand what I mean? Okay, what I mean, Mary, please explain. You are good. Give me signal. You understand?
Well, hopefully I do. So if it's a family member or your, husband or your parent or whoever it is who is upsetting you, or says things to you or irritates you or whatever you want to call it, that would ordinarily cause you to fly off the handle or snap back or something, they too are your treasure, and they too can help you maintain your practice if you can say, okay, what a great opportunity. I can practice patience. Thank you, dear. And if you can do that, then you will be more like Buddha than I usually am. So anyway, that's how I interpret it.
Okay. So Debe also got good signals. So Debe, A first, B first. Okay, B first.
Go ahead, Deb, you're off mute.
Okay. Actually, it's very funny because I work for the government, and so I'm sitting here thinking, oh, if you want enemies, work for the government, because that's just the nature of the government. It's just the nature of the job, and those are the people that attract it. And then you're talking about Scott and Devadatta, and at the point they were the government, so it's the same. 2,600 years ago, the dynamic is the same. You've got, they're just natural places for humans where they're just, again, the power and the negative emotions associated with being able to control things. It doesn't change. But again, it's true. It's a great opportunity to not only practice patience, but the worst of it is, these people can really affect your life. And if somebody says harsh words to you, if they're a friend, that wounds you very deeply, but it always has like that extra thing. If you're like, you can affect my job. So I think, I guess I'm very lucky. I work for the government, so there's all these enemies. And that's just honestly what I was thinking.
Okay, thanks, Debe A. So no Debe B.
So, I'm really glad this came up because it actually makes it quite a bit richer, because a lot of times when at least for me, when I hear the word patience, a lot of times it sounds like you're doing nothing, but it's actually you're doing everything, because there is a certain level of action, because you need to be able to look at the situation, the outer circumstances of what's happening, those words that are coming at you, those actions that are coming at you. But your action is to be able to stay the course, to not get blown off your center. It's like if you're standing in front of an audience and you're speaking, 20 people may be going, oh man, is she ever going to stop? And the other, like probably some of you are now, and the other 20 are saying, oh, I love her, but all of those are just empty words. But if they're coming at us, we just have to practice patience and stay centered, stay the course, have confidence, have courage, and practice compassion. So patience is actually, we're doing a lot of things to maintain that patience. It really is action. It's just in a different form.
Okay. Then who has a comment? Need one? Sandra, I think she has.
I think for Devadatta and the Buddha, So it's kind of what Debbie just said about having confidence. Like the Buddha was wise enough to not feel threatened by whatever things happened. You know, he was able, that thing about keeping your center is really a big one. It isn't just like not to retaliate, but it's to feel like you can still stick with your course of action, what you had in mind, what your own goals were, no matter if someone let you down, or, you know, you get into a situation that might seem like you can't keep your feet going in the same direction, you know. So I think for me, the challenge would be to find the freedom in the moment to choose exactly how I'm going to, you know, deal with whatever happens. And that's what the Buddhists seem to do just so well all the time. Yeah.
Yes. Good. So all that's good comments, and this part is you know, very important, but it's not ordinary people easily can practice this one. This is called way of Bodhisattva. It's waking ones like on the path that can practice this, right? It's very special who can do this, but not for us like all the beginners, but also we recognize this, you know, like first listening this teaching and cultivating, then comes slowly into your mind. First, like of course the same words is also like hearing these things like, wow, not possible, right? So then you have to, that's what listening and contemplate it and meditate means, like step by step comes like slowly into your mind. And then one day you can practice. So now it's like we just hearing the teaching and not possible to use this for practice for someone come to get us, you know, because we right away fear, sad, unhappy, and cannot control ourselves. That's already used to like long time and beginningless time until now. So now we just have to hear this, like we have to contemplate these words. Even you cannot really, of course, we cannot practice this the right way. If you can practice this, then we are not ordinary being. We are already Bodhisattva. Yeah. So then, long as you are in this state already, you can practice this. We are Buddha is just right away there. Not too far from us, Buddha, waking one is not far.
So I have a question, Khenpo. Can I ask?
Yes.
So my question is, developing patience is a lifelong practice, like you say, and we're not there yet. But when you say that if we get angry, we lose merit for many eons, I worry about that because it's like you go up and then you go all the way back. And isn't there compassion for the anger that arises, knowing that it is part of the practice of developing and growing wisdom?
You mean any practice for that?
When I get angry,
Uh,
I've lost all my eons of merit, right?
yes.
But I'm thinking if I am on the path, then I get angry and I'm able to go, oh, I got angry, and to look at it and learn and grow from it. And so that is an act of passion for my anger. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, so the last part I didn't get. The last part, can you say again these last sections?
Okay, so I'm in a situation and I react, I get angry.
Yes.
So what you said is when we get angry, we lose our merit.
Yes.
For many eons.
Yes.
And so so anger is not good, I understand that.
Yes.
But I think it's a practice of learning to not be angry. I get angry, I learn, I watch it, and then next time maybe I catch it, but this time I didn't catch it. So it takes time.
Yes, yes. So that's practice patience, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to, you know, like, when you practice something like cultivate mind generate, dedications, then also like you meditate, like really into absolute truth. So that kind of merit is the anger cannot destroy. And so that's the reason like mind generation is important. And also when you're practicing concentration, use the mind is important, not only just speech and the body. And then after whatever we do, some dedication. So that's kind of like helps protecting the anger. So not destroy the quality. Of course, then we use like mindful awareness. So that helps like preventing anger, right? So anger also arises, we recognize. And then if you don't recognize right away, then takes like little while and recognize. So that helps become slowly your practice
Yeah.
patience strong and strong.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So though
Thanks.
everyone, great. Thank you. So this section, you know, we don't have like everything like whatever says practice, but we can listen and cultivate. That's also really helpful. You know, when someone harmful us. So think about these words, you easily can go away anger. Some situation, of course, like not easy to go away, but just you can have a more open mind and you have more wisdom to dealing with that situation. Some is like we already holding something our mind, you know. So then recognize this, you know, kind of like teaching, cultivating can be go easily can let go that holding that something situation in the mind. So also then you comes more compassion to that person, you know, who harm for us some before previous time, and we holding something that in our mind. So that's actually also lose our happiness. We already talked a lot. Anger destroy our happiness. So we holding something anger for somebody, so that's also losing our happiness. And you study this and cultivate that, you can let go that, and then also comes more compassion to that person. So become some others harm us, already harmed us, that also we can take on the path, not to let. Still you can use that for practice, right? Some harm already for us. So we let go of that and thinking about that who harm for us and cultivate compassion for them, you know, dedication something for them. So that's also a good way to some past actions dealing you can use take in the path. So now we go to 108. Song, can you do 108 song? We cannot hear you, mute. We cannot hear you, so you mute. It's okay if
I'm sorry.
I
can next time.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, but I like to am new. I've been listening to you.
Okay.
Vietnamese in a group also. But I like for me, I like to think deeply before understand deeply before answering your question. But
Okay.
for me, I can tell you that I took the Bodhisattva vow when I was in Vietnam. I joined Vietnam War. I joined the U.S. Army to be the interpreter translator for the U.S. troops during the Vietnam War to fulfill my Bodhisattva vow. For me, never I get angry. My love, my compassion. You know, Vietnamese people, very poor. I love them. I like to help them. In my life, I tell you, I never get angry. I try to be a noble person. That's my goal. I got a master degree, University of Minnesota. Try to be a noble person to help other people, particularly my country and my people in Vietnam. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your beautiful story, short story. You cultivate a long participation, long time, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Long time, around 40 years ago when I was in Vietnam. And at that time, you know, Vietnam War. I got a very good background with English and French languages. I like to help people.
I see.
That's why I like to join headquarters. As Secretary Assistant Command Vietnam, I go to the headquarters, you know, interpreter for many generals, colonel, very good in, you know, speaking, very fluent in military and you know, and politics term. Not every day, very every day. Where is it for me? Buddha and then Manjusri. She forget me, I tell you. How can I very fluent in military and political terms? That Manjusri. She forget me to fulfill my vow. You see, I'm an ordinary, you know, person. But I could work with the U.S., you know, very high ranking, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so now go to the Mary. Please, can you do the 108?
Okay. It's sort of referring to 107, the treasure you found in your house. And it says, and because I'm able to practice patience with him, he is worthy of being given the very first fruits of my patience, for in this way he is the cause of it. And this is the one that you told the story of in one of Buddha's previous life. 5 robbers came and killed him. And he said, or I don't know if they killed him or made him suffer anyway. And he said, these are the guys I'm going to help. And he made them his disciples so that he could help them gain enlightenment, because he was able to practice his patience and then reward them for giving him that chance. Is that it?
Yeah, great. Yes. The main
Okay.
point is that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so then 109. Amanda, can you do 901? 109, sorry. I say 901. Go back the other way.
I knew what you meant. Sorry. But why should my enemy be venerated? He has no intention for me to practice patience. Then why venerate the sacred Dharma? It too has no intention, but is a fit cause for practice. I don't have many notes for this one, It said Dharma helps to guide and liberate us. So we venerate it. It's very special. This is why Dharma is honored and venerated. And I think likewise, our enemies do the same, just in a different way. So we should also have love and compassion to them as well, and remember our Dharma practice when we encounter these people who harm us. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we go to day 110. 110, Thomas.
Yes, Khenpo. But surely my enemy is not to be venerated, for he intends to cause me harm. But how could patience be practiced, if, like doctors, people always strove to do me good? Well, here I have, why should we help our enemies? Because they help us practice patience. Sometimes we need to be tested and realize the good in all. They help us so much, having patience in our enemy. And there are samsaric things. Always to be mindful and to practice patience.
Finish.
Yes. Yes.
So why you not venerated enemies? Why you don't want venerated enemies?
Because they are helping us practice our patience.
No, because for her intention to cause me harm.
Because we
Right.
they help us.
First two sentences, like Shantideva, he said, why you don't honor like venerated enemies? Our answer is, oh, he harmed me because he intended to going to harm me. That's why I don't want practice patience.
Yes.
With him. So then this third and fourth sentence is then Shantideva, he give different logic answer. So he say, oh, then if same is a doctor, then you cannot practice a patient because the doctor doesn't harm you, and it's a doctor treat you when you're sick. And if it's like that, you cannot practice patient.
That's right. That's right.
So when you don't practice patient, you need the enemy.
Yes, without enemy, there is no way to practice.
Yeah. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Okay. So now next is Tom was can you do the 111?
Okay. Thus, since patient acceptance is produced in dependence upon one with a very hateful mind, that person should be worthy of veneration, just like the sacred Dharma, because he is a cause of patience. It's very similar to the other examples. Yeah, I don't really have anything to directly add to this. It's pretty straightforward.
Right.
I think what I had maybe a comment in general that instead of, for me anyway, instead of using the word enemy, I think adversity might be helpful for a lot of people, because the dynamic of our life is not that we're identifying people that are causing us harm and labeling them the enemy it's more of a flow. And like you said before, it can go from someone who likes us, like our family or a friend, and all of a sudden they seem to be, you know, in an adversarial relationship with us for a moment or two. So I think it gives us, if you look at it that way, it gives us, it expands the moment to wisely consider that this person deserves our patience or whatever the adversity is.
Mm,
So that's it.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so that's we can think about. Enemy is like words is like some ways like not is perceived correctly, right? They have something different we can think. So if we take out the enemy, also harder to find some words like suit for there too. So anyway, we can think about that. And then we go to 10112, 112. 112 is DB, go back to DB again first, DB.
Okay. 112 is 112 is therefore the mighty one has said that the field of sentient beings is similar to a Buddha field. For many who have pleased them have thereby reached perfection. So this one, I just remember, Khenpo, that you said that this is really very beautiful with the Tibetan. And this is where we can really recognize that Shantideva has wisdom and compassion in giving these teachings. So, and this verse also really describes being Buddhist, because if people are just praising to the Buddha, to the temple, they're going and asking for help, they're wanting to be successful, they're going there and saying, please help me. The Buddha is not like a creator God that we would do that. But actually, and I know you said that when this happens, it's a good thing that the Buddha doesn't have feelings, or he would be crying for 24 hours, because this is not quite the way that his teachings have unfolded. So, but what the Buddha was saying is that it's really through sharp intellect, intelligence, and following the Dharma, following the Buddhist teachings, understanding, developing through the correct way, developing devotion through listening to the teachings, that this is actually really the correct way. So when it talks about the mighty one, it's because he has immeasurable compassion and wisdom and equanimity for all sentient beings. So it's just like a house. You can't just have a roof to have a house. You have to have more than one part. And so, and also you described like a mother with 10 children. If somebody came along and said, I don't like I like you, but I don't like your 10 children, and she loves her 10 children, then that wouldn't be correct. So it's much like that with this verse with the Buddha. So it's praise to the Buddha and hate others. That's just not possible. The two do not go together. So, and also you did mention about that with the Buddha and Shantideva, they are not trying to control people. They actually have no agenda at all. So through developing our practice and teachings through the Buddhist, listening to the Buddhist teachings and contemplating those, they're coming from a place of no agenda.
Wow, David, thank you. Lots of information.
That was a lot of, yeah, it was many things.
Okay.
Well, and there was one more really, I thought really wonderful statement, was that the Buddha said that if you please yourself, that's samsara. And when you're pleasing sentient beings, then that is, that's nirvana. When we please when we please ourselves, that's samsara. But when we're pleasing other sentient beings, that's nirvana.
Good. Okay, so now we go to 113 DBA.
All right, this one is huge. This one to me is very, very big and complicated. How Buddha's qualities are gained from the sentient beings and the conquerors alike. So why do I not respect them in the same way as I respect the conquerors? So gaining, the Buddha cities, gaining Buddhahood, you need sentient beings to not only just help you practice the, patience and generosity, paramitas, but also you recognize that you and everyone else is the same, and that true feeling, that bodhicitta, and recognizing in everybody else that everybody has immense suffering and it's painful to you. You need to be driven to try and help them, completely liberate. So that's sentient beings. And then the Buddhas, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of the whole of time, the 5 Buddha families, they are always helping us, always available to us. And we only gain enlightenment through them, through connecting directly with them. There's that unbroken thread that starts from the Buddha, comes all the way to us. So that's why it's really, really big. And so why do I not respect them in the same way as I respect the conquerors? Well, it's funny because the conquerors they're great. They're a lot easier to get along with, right? But when you think about sentient beings in general, we can feel very generous towards them. When you are dealing with individual sentient beings, sometimes you're not very charitable or patient or anything like that. And so, that's a very good point. Even the worst being you ever meet at the worst time in their life, being the most horrible to you, they're Buddhist too. There's all of that horribleness is temporary. So you have to remember that, and you have to try and see through everybody's weaknesses all the time to give them that same veneration, because not only are they basically you, but you are transcending emotions and you're transcending a samsara through making that connection and that understanding with them. So that's fine.
Thank you, Debbie. Okay, so great. Anyone has a comment? That's it.
112 and 113 make me think of how Milarepa writes his poems, much like this.
What he did?
Well, much like venerating sentient beings as just as important as the Buddhas. I hear that in his themes. That he has great love and compassion and adversity.
Yeah. Thank you. So Kades, go to 114.
Khenpo, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you think the Dharmakaya is good, like loving? Like, would you say, all of Buddha nature is has the quality of being beneficial?
Can you say again? I didn't get. What is it, the nature?
Well, how we talked about how people pray, they'll go and pray for help or success with whatever, their tests or their work or their basketball games or whatever people pray for. And you said it was sort of improper. The Buddha would be crying. Candy. But still, everything we're talking about is sort of how you can take everything onto the path and nothing's bad, really. And so would you say, does the Dharmakaya, is it neutral, or would you say that, basically, like a Christian might say, I think God is love, Is there something similar in Buddhism that you would say the Dharmakaya is beneficial to all sentient beings? It's only made of good stuff, or what?
The space is beneficial for all beings, right? So we call Dharmakaya is the same as the space.
Yeah.
Space is beneficial all sentient beings.
But it's also inseparable from.
Kaya is emptiness. Emptiness is benefit all beings. I don't know.
I can't remember exactly. I still don't think I get what absolute bodhicitta is. But I mean, wouldn't you say? I guess maybe I'm not sure if it's on the relative level or the absolute level, but maybe you don't want to pin it in a box. I don't know.
So the God is love is relative truth, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a relative, yes. So Dharmakaya is absolute truth. So the more beyond that.
Well, the other thing is, when you think positively, because everything is impermanent.
So it's okay, like Dharma benefit everyone, right? Dharma is benefit everyone. So then that is a relative truth, yeah. Absolute truth, Dharma is like there. You read Heart Sutra, there no cessation, no path, no attainment, no non-attainment, right? No Four Noble Truth. So then Dharma is not exist there. But relatively, we say Dharma is benefit for everyone. So same is like God is love. So people are saying, yeah. Okay, so that's it. You're thinking about relativity and absolute is together, mixing up.
Yes.
Okay, so Dharmakaya is absolute truth. So we no relativity.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now we go to the one. Which one? Kadese.
Yes, I have a follow-up though. If the relative truth is bodhicitta, is loving kindness, why can't you say that the absolute truth is love, is bodhicitta? Absolute bodhicitta. And what's the difference between talking about ultimate bodhicitta and a statement that the Dharmakaya is love?
Too performed. I didn't get.
Okay. If the relative truth is bodhicitta, loving kindness, then the absolute truth, absolute bodhicitta, isn't that the same thing as saying Dharmakaya is love?
Absolute bodhicitta is emptiness.
Okay.
Okay, so you read this one first. One, what where we are? I think the last one, right?
Yeah, what number are we doing?
113 was the last one we did.
Okay.
You're on 114.
I thought 114 is the last one.
That's correct.
Sorry.
Which one do I read?
114.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, they are not similar in their in the quality of their intentions, but only in the fruits that they produce. So it is in this respect that they have excellent qualities and are therefore said to be equal. What's referring to the field of sentient beings and conquerors, since they both can give rise to virtues, it is in this respect that they have excellent qualities and are therefore said to be equal.
Why there are no same qualities Buddha and the sentient beings?
Well, they give rise to,
Mm.
it says in this respect, they have excellent qualities and are said to be equal because they produce the fruits of patience similarly.
Produce the fruit is similar, but actually Buddha and ordinary beings cannot be same quality, right?
But they produce the same quality in the fruits that they produce. They're similar.
So that part is similar. Then what is not similar?
Only from a relative level is there similarity. Absolutely, there's no difference between sentient beings and the conquerors.
So that means like relatively same, absolutely same, right?
From the ultimate level, that's true.
This is one ultimate truth or relative truth. What are you talking here? This teaching. This teaching is all is a relative truth.
Oh, well, then they're different from that level.
Which way different?
I think one inspires us and the other pushes us. The conquerors inspire us, our enemies and sentient beings push us.
What
They
means
make us have to practice.
Okay, so here say, of course, they are not similar in the quality of the intentions. So the Buddha's sentient beings, of course, not same quality. That's we know. So we have a sentient beings don't have a compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, same as Buddha, but only in the fruit that they produce. So if we wanted to become Buddha, their produce like result is like sentient beings, Buddha is the same together. Not only Buddha's produce, we are become Buddha, not only sentient beings, we need both object. So that part is the same, right?
I agree, that sounds right.
Okay, so that sounds right, that's great. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now, anyone has questions or gone, done?
Khenpo,
Yes.
today's teachings were very profound. And I was thinking, I had read something that says to attain Buddhahood, you must first want to benefit beings, right? And then during the intermediate stage, to attain Buddhahood, you must continue to benefit beings. And in the end, once you achieve Buddhahood, you will do nothing but benefit beings.
Exactly. Do nothing benefit others. That's all like.
That's all we're doing is to benefit others.
Dharmakaya Senga. Do nothing benefit others. That is a Dharmakaya.
Okay. I'm sorry to ask the same question over and over. It's really sinking in. I'm sort of unprogramming everything I thought wrong before. Thank you for being patient with me.
No, that's okay. You have a good question. Yeah. So the main important is like the relative truth, absolute truth. That makes like big difference, right? That's also always like get confusions too. Then of course this different Yana's teaching is using different words, like we say outer, inner, secret levels, ground, path, and the result. So they also Four Noble Truths. See, these all different terms there. So that makes like confusions. If you understanding, then of course like always like okay, yeah, that because different teachings, they use different words and method sharing, but it's so like what they're talking about main point. Okay, so now we're going to do dedication together. Senda, please do dedication. I think no one going to share tonight here. Screenshot.
Okay. Emaho, in the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion, and on the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful pure land of Dewachen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Jayata Pensadriya Awabuddhanaye Soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience by defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Drikumpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient Lord of the Dharma, master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.